சிவமீதாம் அருணாச்சலவரற்கேற்ற அக்ஷர மனமாலை சாற்ற கருணாகர கணபதியே கரமருளிக் காப்பாயே. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சலமென அகமே நினைப்பவர் அகத்தை வேறறுப்பாய் அருணாச்சலா. அழகு சுந்தரம் போல் அகமும் நீயும் கபின்னமாயிருப்போம் அருணாச்சலா. அகம் புகுந்தீர்த்துன் அககுகை சிறையாய் அமர்வித்ததென் கொல் அருணாச்சலா. ஆறு காவெனை ஆண்டெனை அகற்றிடு அகிலம் பழித்திடும் அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. இப்பழி தப்புனை ஏன் நினைப்பித்தாய் இனி யார் விடுவார் அருணாச்சலா. ஈன்றிடும் மன்னை பெரிதருள் புரிவோய் இருவோ உனதருள் அருணாச்சலா. உனையே மாற்றி ஓடாதுள்ளத்தின் மேல் உறுதியாயிருப்பாய் அருணாச்சலா. ஊர் சூழம் விடாதுனை கண்டடங்கிட உன்னழகை காட்டருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. என்னை அழித்தி போது என்னை கலவாவிட இதுவோ ஆண்மை அருணாச்சலா. ஏன் இந்த உறக்கம் என்னை பிறரிழுக்க இது உனக்கழகோ அருணாச்சலா. ஐம்புல கள்வர் அகத்தினில் புகும் போதகத்தினில் இல்லையோ அருணாச்சலா. ஒருவனம் உன்னை ஒழித்தவர் வருவார் உன் சூதே இது அருணாச்சலா. ஓங்கார பொருள் ஒப்புயர்வில்லோய் உனையார் அறிவார் அருணாச்சலா. ஒவ்வை போல் எனக்கு அருளை தந்தேன் ஆழ்வதும் கடன் அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சலம் வாழி அன்பர்களும் வாழி அக்ஷர மனமாலை வாழி.
ஐந்து கரத்தனை ஆனை முகத்தனை இந்தின் இளம் பிறை போல் எயிற்றினை நந்தி மகந்த கொழுந்தனை ஞான கொழுந்தினை குந்தியில் வைத்தடி போற்றுகின்றேனே. காதலாகி கசிந்து கண்ணீர் மல்கியோதுவார் தம்மை நன்னெறிக்க உய்ப்பது. காதலாகி கசிந்து கண்ணீர் மல்கியோதுவார் தம்மை நன்னெறிக்க உய்ப்பது. வேதம் நான்கினும் மெய்ப்பொருளாவது நாதல் நாமம் நமச்சிவாயவே. வேதம் நான்கினும் மெய்ப்பொருளாவது நாதல் நாமம் நமச்சிவாயவே. நமச்சிவாயவே.
Good afternoon, everybody. Happy to see all of you here for our
Second day and the final day of Swamiji's discourse. Today's talk is yet another fantastic concept. The three consciousness, the three states of consciousness and what lies beyond. So I will hand it over to Swamiji now and we will be enlightened.
Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Saraswati Namaha. Om Satgurubhyo Namaha. Annamalaya Adiyenai ஆண்டன்றே ஆவியுடல் கொண்டாயனக்கோர் குறையுண்டோ குறையும் குணமும் நீ அல்லால் என்னேன் இவற்றை என் உயிரே எண்ணம் எதுவோ அது செய்வாய் கண்ணே உந்தன் கழலினையிற் காதற் பெருக்கே தருவாயே கண்ணே உந்தன் கழலினையிற் காதற் பெருக்கே தருவாயே. Arunachalam. In the yesterday's satsang, we saw where all the thoughts subside. That is the source, and we have to abide there. Yesterday we saw in the seat of meditation or in Atma Vichara, whenever thoughts rises, we do not worry about the thoughts. And we saw there is one thought which is the basis of all the other thoughts. That is the I thought. Without I thought, no other thoughts. Yesterday we saw that. Because thoughts cannot hang in the mid-air. It can arise only for a conscious entity. So it can arise only for me. Therefore, every thought have got a basis as I thought. So now the inquiry is, from where this I thought is arising? Who am I? From where this I thought is arising? So we have to give our attention within, and then we have to find where this I thought is arising. So when you give attention continuously, yesterday we saw the I thought itself perishes, and we realize our true self. Now, an important question. Okay, Swamiji, this I thought can be the basis of all the other thoughts. Okay. If you inquire the source of I thought, the I thought vanishes, fine. Then what about the world? three-dimensional physical world which is in front of us. So you realize your own Atma, the self, that is fine. But what about the basis, or what about the essence of this world? Do you get my point? By this inquiry, okay, we may come to the source of all thoughts. So, that is I thought. So, the source of the I thought is the heart or the self. That is fine. But where is the question of the consciousness or that truth behind the world, the beautiful world? So when that is not included, then our realization is not perfect. It's not absolute. Is it not so? Don't you think like that? I am Brahman. I don't know about others. I don't know. This is not the realization, you know. Absolute realization means what? I am Brahman, or I am the truth. And everything is included in this truth. That is the absolute truth. Is that not so? Are you getting my point? I am finding all to be very blank. See, that is why in traditional Vedanta Shastra, you know, Adi Shankara and others, they talk about Brahman, which is the essence of this universe, or the macrocosm, they say. And then they talk about Atma, the self, which is the essence of this individual self. And then, through laborious technique, they try to prove that Brahman is Atman, the self. Sometimes you do not understand what they are trying to say. Jahal Lakshana, Ajahal Lakshana, Jahal Ajahal Lakshana. If you study Vedanta, serious Vedanta, they talk about Jahal Lakshana, Ajahal Lakshana, Jahal Ajahal Lakshana. Have you heard about that? I don't know. So then they go on to say that, you know, you have to give up certain aspect in that and certain aspect in this, and then you have to add certain things, and then you come to a conclusion that the Brahman is Atman. All those stuff. But in Bhagavan's path, he is very clear, and how he approaches is very unique. He says, don't worry about the world. Ulagu vittu. He says, in the Ulanarpad, he says, Ulagu vittu. Just drop the world. Don't worry about the world. You just focus on the I thought and you subside in the heart. That is enough. But how can you say this, Bhagavan? The whole huge world is there. Then what about the world? If this question comes, then Bhagavan says, this world is just Manomaya. It is nothing but thoughts only. Can you imagine? Bhagavan says, this world is nothing but thoughts only. What is this? How can you say this? Whose thought then? It is my thought, or his thought, or her thought? Whose thought? Or is it a sort of a integration of all the jiva's thoughts? What is this? How can you say this? See, please understand, without finding the essence or the substratum behind this world, if you find the substratum of this individual self, then the knowledge is not complete. Because if the truth is absolute, it should include everything. So now the question is, what about the world? And there is one more factor. The creator of the world, the Ishvara. What about him? Ishvara, have you seen him? No. Then, but I believe in him because masters have said, and I also could understand, there must be some creative intelligence behind this creation. So therefore, there must be somebody or something behind this world, the creation, the sustenance, the destruction. So there is higher power or supreme power called as God, Ishvara. So what about Ishvara? If you find a truth which is not talking about the world or the Ishvara, then the truth is incomplete. So what about Ishvara? So Bhagavan says, my dear, this world itself is manomaya, is just projection of the mind. So if the world itself is manomaya, just a projection of the mind, it is null and void. What are you talking about? The creator of the world. And from that standpoint, even the creator of the world is just manomaya. What is this? How can you say that? I was born just now and I will die tomorrow. And this world has been here for how many centuries? And it will go on. How can you say that my mind is projecting this world? How can you say that my mind is projecting something called as Ishvara or the God who has created this? What is this nonsense? This should be our question. If you are not asking this question, we are dumb. Or like boom boom everything, for everything we nod our head. See, Bhagavan has given a beautiful idea to resolve this issue. He takes the three states of consciousness. See, whenever we want to know the truth, we have to analyze our own experiences. The jiva, we go through three planes of experiences. Generally, the scientists and others, they take only one plane of experience. That is the waking state. And in this waking state, we look at the world and then we look at our own lives and then we go on analyzing and understanding. But our rishis were still deeper. They said, no, it is incomplete. You have to take all the three planes of experiences. What are those three? One is the waking state. We are now in waking state. And then when we go to sleep, there is something called as dream. Is it not so? Where we see wonderful things, just like that. When we wake up, we find to be null and void. It's all just mind's imagination. That is dream. And then further, there is a third state called as deep sleep state. Without dream, when you sleep deeply, that is a deep sleep state. So these are the three planes in which this jiva goes through. Without understanding all these three planes, we cannot arrive at the absolute or the essence behind all the experiences. So our Maharishis, our Mahatmas, they analyze all these three states of consciousness, all these three planes of our experiences. Then they come to a sort of a conclusion. See, this waking state we all know. We are here and we see a beautiful world, three-dimensional, physical, real, solid. We experience sometimes joy, sometimes sorrow, right? Birth, death, and some say rebirth also. We are not sure. All those stuff. And here there is a lot of strife, a lot of confusion, everything. So you switch on the television set, everywhere you see the news about the world, the politics, the economy, the sport, entertainment, movies, everything about this waking state, right? And this dream state is wonderful. We go to sleep and suddenly wonderful things we see. From nowhere. We are sleeping in our bed, but we see wonderful things. Sometimes horrible things also. You know, one thing you should understand. While we are dreaming, the dream is so real. Is that not so? Let us say we are walking in a dense forest, and just like that a tiger or some wild animal is chasing us, let us say. We start running for our life, and we pant, and the fear. Everything is real. Is that not so? At that moment, we don't think it is just part of a dream. We feel it is all happening. We don't know from where all these things are projected. When we get up, then, oh my God, all these things are just nothing. It's all my own imagination. Because I was in a bed, no forest, no tiger or no nothing. It's all just my mind's projection. And then we say it's all just nothing. Chuma. And then we thank God. Sometimes when we get wonderful dreams, then when we get up, we regret. The dream should have continued. Or we want to go back to the dream and enjoy again. But still, we know that it is all just nonsense. It's all nothing. It's all mind's imagination. Is that not so? This is dream. Then the deep sleep state. See, this is very important to understand the truth. Here lies the insight to understand everything actually. Deep sleep state. What happens in deep sleep state when the mind goes? Our experiences at that moment, please, at that moment our experiences, I don't know. Is it not so? Even we don't say I don't know, meaning we don't know anything, no experience sort of thing. When we get up, we say, when we come to the waking, then we say, I was not knowing anything. But I slept well and I was happy. Is it not so? If we don't sleep continuously for say a few days, then we go mad. Is that not so? Everybody needs that sleep where we completely rest. But the experience is when we get up, we say, I was not knowing anything. But I slept well, I was happy. So this experience we have analyzed further. What's happening in the deep sleep? In the deep sleep, there are no experiences. Because the mind which was experiencing has gone, let us say, into oblivion or something. It has just gone into an unmanifested state. Even though the ears were open, you understand, some people sleep with the eyes open, half open. Right? Even though the nose wide open, the skin, it's all there. The five senses, that's what I'm talking about. But still, we don't experience anything. There may be something going on, some work next door, or something happening. But when we are sleeping deep sleep, we are not aware of anything. See, here lies the sukshma, the secret. Bhagavan explains, in deep sleep, when the mind is not means what? It is not in the manifest form, it is the unmanifest form. It has just gone where we don't know. There is no experience. In fact, there is no experiencer also. And there is total sort of ignorance, meaning what? I don't know anything. Right? What happens? When we come back from the deep sleep state into dream or in the waking, what happens? Bhagavan explains, the mind comes out. When the mind comes out, then there are experiences. The experiencer. Everything comes out. So the difference between the deep sleep and the other two states, dream and the waking, is in the deep sleep, the mind is absorbed, or it is not in the manifest form, it is unmanifest. So there are no experiences. When the mind comes out in the dream or in the waking, then all the experiences, the experiencer, everything. So Bhagavan concludes saying, this dream or this waking state is nothing but the expression of the mind or expansion of the mind. In the dream state, the mind itself is projecting the whole world. Is it not so? Beautiful world it projects. The living beings, the inert objects, the emotions, everything it projects. Space, time, causation, everything it projects. And it projects the experiencer also. And various types of experiences also. The mind only is projecting. Is that not so? In the dream, please think about it. In Mandavya Karika, Gaudapada explains, it cannot be real, the dream experiences. Why? Because in this small space, how are you able to experience the expanse of a big forest or a mountain or the sky? It's not possible. Or if you are just suddenly going to India and coming back, let us say, in that short time, how can you go to India and see? He gives all these logic and reasoning, So it is all the projection of the mind only. So we all know, in the dream, there are no objects as such. The mind is only projecting wonderful objects, the living beings, the experiences, even the experiencer, that is myself. So the mind has that capability of projecting wonderful things. Some thinker has said it is an image factory. It can create a lot of images. See, one thing you should always remember. While dreaming, we never suspect that this dream is false or unreal. We never suspect that it is all projection of the mind. We feel it is all very real. Even within few seconds, you can experience years together in dream. It's all possible. See, after all, time is nothing, You ask a butterfly, how long you lived? The butterfly would say, oh, I lived for so many years, so long I lived. The butterfly would say. But we know, butterfly just came and just vanished. Few days it would have lived, we don't know. But it would say, I lived for long, it would say. So the idea of long or short, this has got not much meaning, If you suppose you go and ask Devas, how much you lived? They say long, and they say what you have lived. We say 100 years I lived. It is nothing, 100 seconds for me. That is what Einstein says now. Time is relative, it's not absolute. In different frame, different time, different frame of reference, the time may be even different. So the idea is, when you are dreaming, you don't suspect the dream is false or unreal. You see everything. You touch, you feel, you experience, you cry, you pant. Everything is real. Only when you wake up, you say, it's all false, it's all unreal. So please understand, the mind has got that potentiality to project wonderful worlds, experiences, the experiencer, the life, whole life. So is it not wonderful? We don't think about all these things. Gaudapada and Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi, they all say, even the waking is the same. That is why in Mandukya Karika, Gaudapada doesn't accept 3 states. He accepts only 2 states. How he puts it, he says, Agrahanam, Anyata Grahanam. Deep sleep, he says, Agrahanam, non-apprehension. Means we don't apprehend anything, na? Meaning what? Non-apprehension. Agrahanam, he says, deep sleep. Gaudapada in Mandukya Karika, he says. And what is dream or waking state? Anyata Grahanam. We perceive something, other than whatever is real. So Anyata Grahanam means what? Something wonderful we perceive. In deep sleep, we don't perceive anything. So what is enlightenment? Yathartha Grahanam, he says. You see things as they are, what they are. Meaning Yathartha Grahanam. So according to Gaudapada, there are no 3 states. He only accepts 2 states. One is deep sleep and another is dream. That's all he accepts. What about waking? Waking is also dream only, he says. Why? What is the difference? In dream also, the mind or the waker is projecting the waking world. In the waking also, the mind is only projecting. Mind cannot survive without the waker or the conscious entity. So, the waker or the conscious entity is only dreaming, even in the waking state. Now comes a serious question. Swamiji, you say my mind is projecting this world. Then do you mean to say that his mind is projecting another world? Her mind is projecting another world? Or all these worlds are interconnected? Where do we meet? What is this? Here lies the trap. See, for a serious Vedantic student, for a serious seeker, here lies the trap. We are not scientific in our approach. When we are scientific in our approach, we have to analyze only our experiences. And we have to accept only our experiences. That is the scientific way of handling things. If you want to know truth, see, I can only analyze and understand my own experiences. Is it not so? So, the mind is projecting the world. In that comes the others. So the others also part of the projection only. In dream also, when the mind is projecting somebody, after waking up, will you ask? And the Kuppuswami, one who came in the dream, what happened to him, will you ask? Or, what is his life? Whether he got married, will you ask? Dream means what? It is not just it appeared and it went away. There is no meaning. So you don't ask question about that Kuppuswami who appeared in that dream. Because it's all just nothing, nonsense. Similarly, when I analyze my own experience, other who is appearing is also part of my waking mind. See, this idea we should be able to catch. Here people fail actually. They go round and round and round. These people can't catch. Here they miss it. Actually speaking, even the question of others is part of my waking mind. Therefore, that is also part of the mind only. Mind means what? It has no existence of its own, no substance. So, when the mind is in unmanifest form, there are no experiences, no experiencer. When the mind comes into manifestation, there are experiences. In that experience, there are so many people, so many things, so many experiences, and the experiencer. In the waking state also, it is absolutely the same. There are so many experiences and there is an experiencer. So therefore the waking world also is nothing but the projection of the mind. Mind means what? Thoughts. Flow of thoughts. Thought means what? The thinker and the thought about. That is called as thought. Aham versus, not versus, aham, idam. That is mind. So without aham, there cannot be idam. Without I, there cannot be other thoughts. So if you inquire who am I and try to find the source, the I disappears. When the I disappears, all the thoughts disappear. When all the thoughts disappear, there is no question of world. Because world, what we imagine, is only just thoughts. Manomayam. This is very hard to digest, And mostly people say, Swamiji, Chumma idella ottukka mudiyadhu. This we cannot accept. It's all, nonsensical. What is this? What are you talking? You mean to say that this huge, beautiful world is just my mind? It's just a kanava. It's just a unreal sumava. What is this? I'm able to touch. I'm able to feel. Yeah, in dream also you will be able to touch. You will be able to feel. See, that is why when these scientists, when they talk too much about these galaxies, these light years, blah, 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 we don't have any interest. It's all nonsense. They may say, oh, these are the equipments we are using, these are the observation, these are the data, and these we have analyzed, blah, 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 blah. It's all okay. So Gaudapada Acharya says, and Bhagavan also says the same, that this waking state is just another dream. Only when you wake up to the reality, you will understand this. Till then you will never understand, appreciate. Intellectually you can understand, appreciate, but still you always doubt it. How it can be? How it can be? What is this? How it can be? No? See, one more thought, one more idea. I want to ask you, please tell me honestly. Have you any time seen the world without thoughts? Have you ever seen any world without thoughts? Please tell me. See, there are two occasions when there are no thoughts. One is when you go into deep sleep. There you don't see any world. Another thing is you enter into samadhi. On these two occasions there are no thoughts and you don't see any world. Without thoughts, have anybody seen the world? Swamiji, yes Swamiji, we have not seen, but there would be a world, not to see a world. If you say like this, then I would say, have you seen horn of the hare? Muel kombu pathirkingla, horn of the hare. Have you ever seen? No Swamiji. Has anybody seen? I don't think so. But there should be a horn. How can you say there is no horn? If you say, I have not seen, nobody has seen. But it should be means what? It is just a prattling. There is no meaning. Similarly, if nobody can see the world apart from thoughts, then if you argue, no, there should be a world, to see a world. It is only just a imagination of an unscientific mind. So nobody has ever seen this world without thoughts. You just think about it. You know what I mean, even in an ordinary day-to-day life, let us say, you are lost in a deep thought, let us say. And your eyes are open. Your eyes are open, you are seeing, but your mind has gone somewhere. Let us say one of your friends is walking just in front of you. You may not recognize him. Your eyes are seeing. Meaning, the eyes are capturing the form. But your mind is somewhere else, lost in some deep thought. You will not recognize, you will not even be aware of that person walking inside. Meaning, if the mind or the attention is not given, then there are no experiences. Only when you give attention, there is an experience. What is attention? I. Only when there is I, there is an experience. Without I, there cannot be any experience. So this is what it means by this mind's projection. Mind means I and the object. Without I, there cannot be any object. This is called as mind's projection. I means what? Attention. So without giving attention, there cannot be anything for you, for your experience. That's what I mean. Are you getting my point? See, it's a very subtle science. Deep science. If you get this, you get everything. If you don't get this, you go beating around the bush, blah, 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 blah. And then you ask whether bhakti will help or jnana will help, or whether I have to go on taking a jadu and go on cleaning. Karma yoga will help, this will help, that will help. See, mattadella chumma tale chutti mooku toramadi. This is it. Have you ever seen a world without thoughts? Has anybody seen the world? Then it means it's just thoughts only. Without attention, nobody can have any experience. What is attention? I rising and seeing is attention. That's Atma odinalada ellam odirikkiradhu sollu. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. Meaning what? Because of the Atma, the light of the consciousness, everything is illumined. Meaning what? Ennudai odinalada ellam odirikkiradhu. Even the sun, I give light. How dare you say this? In deep sleep, when the mind is not there, when the mind is not, there is no sun. But others are seeing, these others are only part of your waking mind, not your deep sleep state. When you come to waking state, only you say others have seen the sun when you are sleeping. All these are all projection of the waking mind. See, this is a very, very subtle thought. People cannot digest and understand. That is why Adi Shankara and other traditional acharyas, they have built up beautiful theories. They said, you know what, this Pancha Koshas, there is something within this Pancha Kosha called as Atma, the self. Or the essence of this personality or this Pancha Kosha is the individual, is the Atma, the self. And you are seeing wonderful world, big world, huge world. The substratum behind this whole world is called as Brahma Swarupam. And that Brahma Swarupam is this Atma Swarupam. How, you ask? They go on telling so many stories which you don't even understand. But you have to accept. So you will understand. But what I need to say, for like stories only. Blah, 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 something they say, and then they say, oh, this Brahma Swarupam is Atma Swarupam. But you know what? There is nothing called as this world. It's all mind's projection. Is the reality, is the truth. So when this is understood, because you identify with the body, you see a world. When you identify with the subtle body, you see subtle world. But all the world are only thoughts. So when you identify the body and you think yourself to be this, you see something other than you called as the world. When you don't identify with this, when you just stop identifying with this, you don't see anything other than yourself. Then everything collapses. So therefore, the idea is, when the mind is analyzed, what is this mind? Then it is nothing but aham vritti and idam vritti. I thought and other thoughts. All the other thoughts have got I thought as the basis. Without I, there is no other. So, I thought itself is expressing as other thoughts. So what is this I thought? Who am I? Is the question. If this is pondered over, if you deeply inquire within, giving attention to I thought, even the I thought is not. When that is the realization, when there is no I, there are no others. There is nothing. What about God? Only when there is the world and the experiencer, there is God. When there is no world or the experiencer, why to bring in God into the picture? My God? How can you say this? I am not an atheist or anything. Please don't misunderstand me. I worship God. But when you come to Atma Vichara, Tattva Vichara, you should be very ruthless. There is no place for sentimentalism. So, when there is no world and when there is no experiencer, then why talk about somebody who has created this world and all those stuff? But when you think yourself to be, when you think the world to be real, when you think these experiences are very, very real, then yes, there is a God, that is a creator. Yes, you worship him. He will bless you. Yes, he will help you. Everything is true. That's what Bhagavan said. If you think you are there, yes, God is there. If you think these experiences are real, yes, the experience of hell and heaven also is real. If you think you are born and you are going to die, yes, you may be reborn also. But question whether you are born, whether you are, I am, whether, that you question. When that is resolved, then there is no question of anything else. And in Ulladana the Bhagavan beautifully says, we talk about in English grammar, first person, second person, third person. No? What is first person? I. What is second person? You. What is third person? He, she, it, they. Is it not so? Only with reference to the first person, we can always say the second person. You. For me, first person, with reference to this first person, I can say who is closer to me, near me, in front of me as you. Only with reference to the first person I can call somebody away as he, she, it. When the very first person is not there, there is no frame of reference to consider a second person or third person. So there are no second person, third persons. So when the first person is found out to be null and void, where is the question of second or third person? For us, God is also a third person. No? When the very first person is not there, where is the question of second or third person? Ulladanath is a wonderful text. It was very deep. Swamiji, இதெல்லாம் கேட்கறதுக்கு நல்லா இருக்கு, பேசுறதுக்கு நல்லா இருக்கு. But I don't think all these things will help me. What are you talking? You say there is no world, there are mind's projection. So what? Now what has changed now? Nothing has changed. I have to go back to my house. I have to meet the same people, have same challenges. I have to cook my food. I have to earn, I have to spend. What they say in US, people live paycheck to paycheck, or what they say. Like that I have to earn, otherwise I can't survive here. By understanding that the world is real, the world is unreal, what is going to change? Nothing is going to change. No, if you are very serious about it, everything will change. To you, everything will change. விதவிதமான நிலைகள் எல்லாம் விசாரம் செய்து இச்சை அது பரமபதம் யாதும் கொண்டோ அதனையே திடமாக அகத்தார் பற்றி அனவரதம் உலகில் விளையாடு வீரா. This is Yoga Vashta's verse. Bhagavan has translated to Tamil. அனவரதம் உலகில் விளையாடு வீரா. You play the game of life. After knowing the truth, understanding it, it has no meaning, it is all unreal. You play the game. Meaning, when it is a game, you are not very serious. When you lose also, you are okay with it. When you win also, you are okay with it. It's just a game. There is nothing to be serious about it. Is that not so? Vilayadu Veera is this. Now we feel it is very real. I cannot lose. I have to win. I have to win. I have to win. What will people think about me? Oh, Ram, I have to win. I have to win. What will happen to my image? What will people think about me? I have to win somehow. I have to win. Why? Why? Because it's all real. Everybody is real. Everybody will laugh at me. Now also they are laughing at you only. For your madness. Winning and losing has no meaning. Being is so auspicious. So when you analyze these three states of consciousness, you understand that the experiencer and the experienced, everything rises along with the mind and everything subsides along with the mind. When you allow the mind to subside, it will subside. We don't allow the mind to subside. Because of our raga dvesha, because of our vasanas, we will never allow the mind to subside. Even for a moment. See, but in the deep sleep, we are not aware of anything. It goes, but that is not useful to us. When we are conscious, we should allow the mind to subside. That is samadhi abhyas. We have to be very conscious and the mind should just subside. When that happens, then you go beyond. Meaning what? To a different dimension. Where there is nothing except the awareness. That is most blissful. It is called as effortless, choiceless, objectless awareness. There is nothing to limit this experience. It cannot be called as experience also. This state, whatever it is. There is nothing to limit it. So it's called as unlimited. There is nobody to be bound. And it is pure bliss. That's what Mahatmas say. See, even the idea of infinity, we don't understand at all. We imagine something very huge. What huge? Anoraniyan, Mahato Mahiyan. What is the meaning of that? It is smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest. All this idea of small, big and all this concept on it. That behind all the concepts, ideas, that is the truth. So therefore you don't imagine God or the Brahman to be something oh huge. No. Or so small, no. What it is? That which illuminates all these concepts of big, small, this, that is it. See what happens when you understand all this is projection of the mind, you don't hold on to anything and you don't take seriously anything. And then what happens? Everything will go. All the thoughts will die its own death. And then you are free. That's it. That is the potency of this vichara. As long as you consider this to be very real, you will hold on to this. And you suffer like anything. When you find this to be nothing, you just let go. When everything is gone, there remains the self, pure self, which is absolute and which is blissful. And that is beyond. Beyond means what? It is beyond the experiencer and the experienced. It is called as unknown. It is not known through the senses of the mind. That is why it is called the unknown. Unknown means how can you know about it? You cannot know about it. You can just be. The being is knowing. It is the very knowledge. It is the very Spurana. It's the very knowledge. So therefore, if you analyze these three states of consciousness thoroughly, scientifically, without giving a room for any sloppiness, intellectual lethargy, thoroughly if you analyze these three states of experience, you will understand that this whole experiences and the experiencer is a game, has got no meaning. I used to always ask, who is your grandfather's grandfather? People say, grandfather's father I know, grandfather I know, grandfather's father I know, grandfather's grandfather. You don't know even your grandfather's grandfather. What is the meaning of his life now? He lived only 60, 70 or 100 years before. Now what is the meaning of his life? Nothing. And what is the meaning of your life after a few years? Nothing. You may be a great person. You know, there is a poem called Ozymandias by P.B. Shelley. A traveler walks through the desert and he finds a statue of a great king without head. There it is written, oh, he is a Samrat, Maharaja, Rajadi Raja and all. What is the meaning of that? Rajadi Raja without a head. They are standing in the desert. Meaning, it has no meaning. Our lives now, it has got so much of meaning. Like in the dream, things are very real. But when you wake up, it has no meaning. Now it is so real. After 100 years, what is the meaning? Nobody cares. That is why whatever we consider to be very important now, after a few years it becomes unimportant. Your school life, you think, you look back. You missed first rank by few marks and you were crying so much. Or you missed out on your sort of dream sort of a course, university course you missed out. You must have cried so much, but now you laugh at it. Is that not so? That's no meaning. So, the idea is, the whole thing is just made up. When you understand this deeply, then everything is dissolved. When everything is dissolved, what remains is that auspicious. Satyam Shivam Sundaram, they say, no? That is auspicious. That remains. And that is everything, which has no death, which has no birth, so no death. Ajam nirvikalpam nirakara vekam niranandamanandam advaitahu param nirgunam nirvishesham niriham parabrahma rupam ganesham bhajema we say. But that is that parabrahma rupam. So that is why the viveka of these three states are very, very important. So I have given you a glimpse. Glimpse means what? An idea. Now you have to contemplate on it seriously, on your own. Then only you find your own light. See, whatever I have told you is only a sort of a piece of information. You have to think about it, contemplate on it to get light, to see the light. Light means what? That understanding. And then it will help you. If you are serious about it, it will help you. So here I stop today. And as yesterday, we will have some question and answer if at all you have some questions.
Yesterday we had really good questions, so we could have more discussion in the today. Yes.
Namaskar, Swamiji again. I'll again start the question again today. So you talked a lot about the state of being. If you can also clarify what Ramana Maharishi meant by something on the right side of the heart, and how does it relate to realizing the state of being?
See, that is another subject matter for another discourse actually. It's called as Hridaya Vidya. See, recently we have been studying Ramana Gita, a Kavya Kantakanvati. Actually, he has compiled whatever Bhagavan has said, he has compiled it. It's called as Sri Ramana Gita. The 5th chapter, Hridaya Vidya. Beautiful. See, it's another big topic to discuss. I don't know whether I can discuss it now. But what Bhagavan says, he calls something a spiritual heart, Hridayam, he says. And he says it's not this Hridayam which is pumping blood. He says it is a spiritual center, he says. And he says it is just right side of the chest, he says. And what he says wherever all the thoughts subside, that place is called as Hridayam, he says. It is not a physical thing actually. It is not even like chakras, it's not even like that. He says where all the thoughts subside, if at all you have to pinpoint a place or a sthanam, he says it is just towards the right of your chest, he says. And he says there all the thoughts subside, and that is Hridayam, he says. But Hridayam cannot be defined by space or time. The Atma self cannot be defined by space or time. For just to help the meditators, it is given as a sort of a support. So that is what he calls Hridayam, where all thoughts subside, he says. So from there, through Sushumna Nadi, goes the light to Sahasraram and all, he says. In Hridaya Vidya he talks about so many things. So that is what, it's a matter of discussion for another day. It's very, very fascinating, that also. Recently we took that Hridaya Vidya in Chennai. It is there in our YouTube. Atma Vidya Mandir Thiruvannamalai, if you type in YouTube, you get all lectures. But it's in Tamil, Ramana Gita, 5th chapter. Exhaustively he talks about Hridaya. Exhaustive. And even Ulladanatha Anubandham he talks about Hridaya Vidya. Not in Ulladanatha Anubandham he talks about Hridaya Vidya.
You gave that talk once. I have a follow-up to him. I hope it's not an impertinent question, but even in the Mandukya Upanishad, it says the waking state is like the right eye, And does this important to know if it's the right side of the heart or right side, or it's just something?
Those things are not important.
Nothing important. No, that's why I wanted to know what does it mean? Which spiritual heart, left, right, does it matter? I mean, is it something that we just have to imagine?
You don't need to imagine anything. You have to go beyond all imagination.
Okay.
See, the thing is,
wanted to
once
clarify.
somebody asked Bhagavan, what is the pramana, proof for what you are talking about, right? The heart is in the right and all. What is the pramana? Bhagavan said, my experiences. That's it. It is my experience, he said. So certain things are said for certain seekers to help them in certain ways. We need not break our heads
Yes.
into all those things.
Just wanted to clarify.
And I tell you, Upanishads and all, they talk about so many things, Upasana and so many things. I don't know why they talk about all those things. It is so simple and so straightforward, it's truth. Ayol, Rama, they talk so many things. I don't know why they talk. See, if I say all these things, people will misunderstand me totally. The Swami Kadavulu Nengaradu, Sastram Poingarana, Enarthon Nindam. I'm not talking about that. I really wonder why these Upanishads are like this. Talking so many things, I don't understand why they talk about all this. Yes. Yes. Somebody. Okay, you ask and then you want to ask. Okay, afterwards.
I have two questions. One is, you mentioned that after one understands these three states of awareness, person can is still living, can do everything without like a play and without worrying about loss, victory, whatever. So that brings it back, this person, Karma Yogi of Gita, or a Sthit Prajna's situation. So that is not different.
Yeah, Siddhartha Prajna means one who is abiding in the knowledge. Na?
So Karma Yogi also, like what Krishna is saying, you do your things and don't worry about the results. So it is something similar.
See, what I am saying, this Karma Yogi, though he is practicing Karma Yoga, it is only in the mind, in the sense, what I mean to say, it's bhavana again and again. Na? See, is he really experiencing that he is not the doer? No. He is only telling himself, I am not the doer, I am not the doer.
No, but he may be.
No, as long as he is identifying the body mind, always there is a feeling that I am doing. Only what you are saying, no. Scriptures have said, I am not the doer. There is something called God who is the doer. I am just an instrument. This is only a way of educating yourself, or this is only a auto-suggestion sort of thing. You are telling yourself again and again. Do you really know like that? Do you really experience like that? You don't experience like that. You tell yourself. But when you can tell yourself, only when you are in a sattvic mind frame, when you are, otherwise when you are in Rajasic mind frame, you don't feel all those things. You do as the doer only. And you enjoy as enjoyer only. And you suffer only in Rajas, in Tamas. Only when Sattva state, you all feel, I am not the doer and all. But the Sattva state doesn't remain even for half a minute. It goes. So Karma Yoga is okay, good. It all helps. What I mean to say, I don't know, Summa Karma Yoga, Karma Yoga, what is this? I really don't understand. Okay, Karma Yoga is good, do it. But these things are very important than anything else. When you understand all these things, it will liberate you. Here it can help you. Yeah, Karma Yoga is only a bhavana. Na? It's only a bhavana, again and again you are telling yourself. But when you are not in the sattvic mood, all these bhavanas go. You get involved, you get into it, and you. That's why people say, Swami, I have studied all these things, but in day-to-day life I lose my temper, I lose my cool, I do this, I do that, I mess up my life. Why they do that? Because Rajas and Tamas only rules our life. Sattva is very, very little. That is why it's all very, very complicated, tricky. Yeah, Karma Yoga is fine, I am not against it. But people sometimes in the name of Karma Yoga, they are attached to Karma only. And till they die, they go on doing some karma or other, thinking that is the only way. And they don't even think about anything else. That is what I am not happy about it. Karma Yoga is good. Shumma Papa, karma.
I have another question. Dreams, most of the time, I lot of it is, like most of it is all this day waking experiences, and they come to you in a very distorted way, all past, present memories, all that, like almost nonsense. But once in a while one has a dream and which tells about the future and that comes true. So what is that situation? Is mind
Future comes true. Future means it's regarding to the world only, na?
What's that?
Regarding to the world only you are talking, na?
Regarding to the world.
Future of the world or future of our own lives only you are talking, na? The world itself is not, I am saying. Future of the world means what is the meaning of future of the world?
Like something in your future life
Which is going to happen. Like exactly same thing.
I am telling you, this world itself is a manomaya, is not. You are talking about future of this world or future of somebody's life. Somebody is also false. This body also is not false. This world also is false. So in dream, if you dream something, it is part of the dream. All false. See, in the vyavaharic, in the relative sense, you may have a dream, it will happen in the world outside. It's all okay. But what we are talking is something else. The whole world itself is a dreaming. Something happening in the world is real or unreal means what? Everything is Shuma. What is this? Sometimes you may get a dream which may tell you about the future. Maybe, I don't know. So that is also part of the mind only, part of the dream only, part of the unreal thing only. How can it be Satyam? How can it be something very worthwhile, real and all? See, the mind can project anything. It can project even the future of the world. Why not? The mind can project everything. Why can't it project the future of the world also? It can project.
That doesn't question that.
It can project everything. It can project the future also. Let it project. I don't know whether you are understanding me. I don't know whether you are misunderstanding me. Or you are getting angry with me, I don't know. Or annoyed with me, I don't know. Anyway.
So you're saying we should not take any of those things seriously, comes and goes. Right?
Which one?
Future, if it future.
See,
something
what I am saying is the very waking state is dream.
So
You are talking about something in dream.
Yeah.
How is it true or false, Satyam or Asatyam? How does it matter? Maybe it can happen also, but how does it matter? It is all part of the false actually. It has no meaning. See, when this world itself we are saying there is no meaning. When you are dreaming something and when something is projected as future, maybe it can come true in the vyavaharic, in the relative sense, we don't know. But that is also mind only, it has no meaning. That is what I am trying to explain.
So just quick follow-up on that, this concept we know well of the world being an illusion and all that, but isn't it sometimes misunderstood in the sense that while we are in it, we cannot operate as though it's an illusion, right? Because, taken literally, of course, if I'm driving, I can't imagine that the other car is an illusion, or, you take the most minor example, but all of our actions, everything else, we operate in this world, so at that time we don't take it as an illusion, but in a larger sense, it's all Maya, it's all illusion, it's all, like you said, it's a dream we wake up from, and this dream we wake up from at some point. But while we operate within it, we must take it as real. Is that correct or is it off?
See, I am asking you one question. We live in this world. We enter into relationships. We earn, we spend. Or we run after power or whatever, name, whatever, fame. All these things for what?
It's transient.
All these things for what? For happiness. See, actually, all these jivas, whatever, all of us, what do we want in life? We all want unadulterated happiness or joy or peace. That is what we all want.
Comfort.
See, why do we go to work? Why do we earn? Why do we get married? Or why do we go around the world seeing places? Why? Fundamental idea is we all want to be happy. and peaceful. Peaceful na puriya maatengadu, chappu chappilla mari. Peace, people don't appreciate peace. It is all very bland. They say, what is peace? Peace you are talking about. One fellow, with Purna Kumbham, he invited me in US, in New Jersey. His devotee's son. He invited me to Purna Kumbham, chanting a lot of good mantras. You know what? In his t-shirt, he has written this thing, some Ramana Urvam, some, I don't know what it is, some pizzas of Buddha Mari, something in his t-shirt. Rust in peace. We all say rest in peace, no? He has written rust in peace. I thought, with Purna Kumbham he is inviting me, his t-shirt is saying rust in peace. I was wondering, when I asked him, what is rust in peace? He said, if you are wanting peace, you rust. You have to be dynamic, active, do this, do that. What peace? You will rust in peace. This is what is our idea about peace. What is peace? Why Papa, peace. You will rust in peace. You know what is a rust? R-U-S-T. You will rust in peace. Come on, life is to live. Come on, do this, that, blah, blah. That is life. That is what people understand. This idea of peace doesn't inspire, especially the younger generation. What is peace? Joy means people are inspired. Happiness, bliss. See what ultimately we want. We want joy or bliss. In a state, if you are going to get aparimitamana, infinite bliss, what else you want in life? We are holding on to this world, to our work, to our wife, our children, this, that, only for happiness. Don't mistake. Only for bliss, only for happiness. Because we feel very hollow now within. And we feel, we are paupers, we are beggars. If for some reason you are going to get the infinite bliss, who cares what happens to this world? Who cares whether you can work or not? Who cares whether this goes this way or that way? If I am in a state where I am full, infinite, blissful, out of the world, then who cares about anything? I am asking you. See, there are other ways of looking at it. See, even a Jivan Mukta can function in this world beautifully. You can take care of your children. You can do work beautifully. You will shine in your professional world. Blah, blah, blah. All these things I can tell you. It may be true also. But now I am asking you a question. Why are you so worried about how will the world run? How will I be able to take care of the family? Will I be able to do my work? Why? When you are given everything, why are you worried about the small little things? Let it go to hell. Who cares? Because we are so conditioned and we are so, when you are getting everything, what else you want? Why are you worried about other things? Let it be or let it go. Who cares? Since you don't have, you are hankering after it. You are getting everything. So what? And everything you are getting always. That's what they say now. Infinite means what? There is no time in it. There is no constraint of time. Only for 100 years you will get. Afterwards you will lose. No question of time. No question of space. No question of objects. That is something else. So why should you worry about it? See, let it be like this or that. Who cares? Why should you worry? You are getting everything. You understand my point?
Yeah.
No. I'm putting it in a different way actually.
No, of course, you're not espousing that, of course you're not espousing that people don't conduct their responsibilities and so forth and so on, but it's a mental state.
Yeah. See,
Figurative.
and one more thing I'm telling you. In this world when people live, they commit sin or do wrong things only because of ego. Because of selfishness, greed and ego. It all comes from ego. When the ego itself is not there, definitely a person will not commit any sin or any adharma. He will not live in any other way to hurt anybody. So therefore don't worry about how responsibly he will live or not. Because there is no ego. Only because of ego all the sins are committed. All the evils come from ego. If you think deeply, everything comes from ego. So when the very ego is not there, you can rest assured that he will lead a wonderful life, one beautiful life. There is everything is auspicious. There is nothing inauspicious. Therefore, there is no worry or no this question about whether he will responsibly he will live or what he will do, what he will not do. Ego is the root cause of all evils. When that is gone, everything is auspicious. Whether he lives this way or that way, everything is auspicious. He can be a Tapovan Maharaj, not worried about anything, just in the Himalayas. Or he can be a Swami Chinmayananda, who is wanting to serve, who is wanting to do good. It doesn't matter. He can be a Ramakrishna or he can be a Vivekananda. It doesn't matter. What I mean to say, Nivritti or Pravritti doesn't matter. As long as he is abiding in this self, everything is auspicious.
Question.
No, that Amma is always
Oh.
raising that.
Swami.
Afterwards.
Afterwards.
Yeah, you.
Right, the state that you were talking about, the spiritual heart, and the one state where there are no thoughts, is the same as the Turiya state.
That is the same as Turiya. I didn't mention the name Turiya, it is Turiya.
It's the same, and
It's
if you
Turiya.
are there, then there is, that is very momentarily, it's difficult to hold on to that, but if you apply that to your everyday life, you are by living, going through this life, I think the life can be beautiful.
Yeah, life would be beautiful because
So that is the spiritual heart you were talking about.
spiritual heart is where everything rises, everything subsides. That is Atma, the self is called a spiritual heart. That is Atma, the self is called as a spiritual heart. So as you said rightly, when you are abiding there, everything is auspicious. And you live a beautiful life. No doubt about that. Because there is no egoless state.
Namaskar, Swamiji. I just want to ask a grassroots level question. All knowledgeable people are sitting here. Maybe it's a very, like you talked about waking dream and deep sleep state, right? And like we have heard like that say alpha, beta, alpha, theta, and delta.
I don't know about that.
And about the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. So I just want to, thread it like, how similar it is and how do we understand waking is beta and alpha I can get is like when you go into little like a dream state or when you are in a meditation or in that position, and deep sleep is sushupti avastha, you say. And then Turiya I didn't mention that that's how it comes out. So I just wanted to thread it in one more question also I have first you answer this.
I don't know. Alpha, beta, gamma, and I don't know.
No, not gamma, alpha, beta, theta, and
It's a new concept.
So,
I should understand it first.
huh.
I don't know about that. Now, what you are trying to relate, I am not able to.
Like
See, if you say it is conscious, subconscious, unconscious, I can just relate it to conscious means somewhere like waking, subconscious means somewhere like mind or the mind stuff, unconscious means the vasana level, something like that I can relate. But more than that, if I want to answer your question, I should know about those ideas clearly, what you are trying to say. This much only I can explain, I can answer your question now. Turiya is something beyond. I don't know from which philosophy these terms are taken, I don't know. And what it signifies also, I don't know.
States of mind only they say, the frequencies like.
So all those stuff I am not very familiar with, these frequencies and all those stuff. So I don't know actually.
So I just really wanted to connect, waking with beta or dream state with what it is. Okay. And then I have, like you said, mind, I and Atman. In the conversation, I think you mentioned about the waking of mind, then I and Atman. So now this mind, I, Atman, are the same thing, or what is consciousness, how different from it, and what is the soul? how do I connect all this?
Yeah. See, the essence of mind is I. Essence of mind is I. Essence of I is Atma.
Essence of mind is?
Essence of mind is I.
Ah.
I.
Ah.
No. The essence of I is the self, Atma, the self. That is how you have to understand.
And this consciousness word, what we say consciousness.
See, this word consciousness is interpreted or understood in different ways, in different contexts by different Mahatmas. When you go to Nisargadatta Maharaj, when he uses consciousness, he doesn't mean the absolute consciousness. See, that's what different thinkers, different acharyas, different teachers use same word for different purposes, indicating different things. So, we have to understand the proper context, what they are trying to explain. See, generally in Swami Chinmayananda's this thing, pure consciousness, he always refers to Atma, the self only. Prajnanam, Brahma, and all we say, no, that's what he refers. In certain other places, consciousness is referred as reflected consciousness also. That means the, what to say, the relative, that thing also is referred. So, in what context they are telling, we should understand. Then only we will understand what they try to convey.
Yeah, here I am taking consciousness as Atma only.
Then it is pure self only.
Yes. And Swami, you mentioned about that, Hridaya with Vidya. So, who has written this book for?
No, Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi, he talks about Hridaya, the heart, spiritual heart. So, in his literature it comes, Hridaya Vidya. So, one of his disciples, Kavyakanta Ganapati Muni, he has compiled a book called Ramana Gita, in which he talks about Hridaya Vidya, means whatever Bhagavan has said, he has sort of compiled, noted down and compiled. There it comes, Hridaya Vidya.
Thank you so much.
And then Sudha, you can go first.
Namaskar.
See, please, 1 minute, one minute. Don't think that I am sort of brushing it aside, or I am sort of indifferent or harsh or anything. It is not that, please. Certain things I may not understand because of the terminology used. So I am not able to answer properly. That is the only thing. And certain things are very subtle and very different. I don't have words to express also. I don't know how to express also. Certain things are very different actually. That is the only thing. Don't please misunderstand me. Yeah?
No, you're not.
My body language may be a little different sometimes.
You did a great job describing the destination of realization, right? What?
Louder. Can you speak a little
Swamiji,
louder?
okay. Swamiji described the destination really well. What I mean by that is,
if we are talking about realization, you did a fantastic job describing what it feels like, etc. And you also mentioned how to get there by meditation and inquiring, who am I, correct? Is that the only question? Now, what I want to do is, I'd like to understand what the process of meditation is. Maybe it's a naive question, but I would like to know, because you've given me the first question, who am I? What comes next? And in your experience, maybe that might help me, or ask, I'm sure, what is the second and the third question to ask after the first question is answered, or is that the only question we ask? And I also have a question.
Wait, first question, what is the first question?
What?
Destination is explained.
yes.
And also the path, that is meditation. Or Atma Vichara. What else you want to know?
I want to know the process of meditation. Maybe that's my question.
That's what I explained. To inquire who am I,
Yes.
and to dive deep within, and to abide there. That's what that is the process. The self-inquiry itself is a process only now. See, if you come to Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, this is the process. See, there is no separate process.
And I interpreted
Yes,
it
please.
maybe,
Yes.
or Mahesh, I may be wrong. He's saying, what's the first question is, who am I? But what comes after is his question, but there is no answer to it. So that's what he's asking. If I ask, who am I, where do I go from there?
That's what it's not just asking. That's what
Yeah, I
I'm
know,
trying to tell you.
So that's what.
See, what I'm trying to tell you is it is not just asking the question. It's not a question session like that. It is giving attention, I told you again and again. See, Who am I means we all feel that I am. I am means what? That I am, I exist. This idea, this feeling everybody has got. See, if you say I don't have, how can I explain to you? You say I came, I went, I did, I, you say. But if I say, keep your mind on that I, you say, I don't know what you're saying. I don't understand. What is this? How can you say this? Every day, 100 times you say I. When I say you just give attention to that I, then you say, I don't know what you're saying. No, because we have not tried sufficiently. See, what we have to do is, with faith in Bhagavan, we have to sit and we have to keep the mind in whatever we feel as I. That is a feeling, that is the idea that I. English I ன்னு சொல்லாது. இப்போ தமிழனுக்கு நான் சொல்லும். அப்புறம் ஹிந்திக்காரனுக்கு மேன்னு சொல்லும். இப்போ சமஸ்கிருதம் படிச்சவனுக்கு அகம் அப்படி கிடையாது. The feeling that I exist, I am. So in that feeling or that unarvu, you keep your mind. Just keep that. See, I explain more difficult. Actually, it is so simple actually. I am is very simple, very obvious or unarvu is a feeling. So keeping the mind continuously there is the process. That is how you have to do this Atma Vichara. It is not simply saying, who am I? And waiting. There is going to be some answer from within. No, nothing, and no answer will come.
That's it.
It's not asking question, who am I? No. Why this question is asked? Because the mind is going out. To cut that short, for whom these thoughts? Then it says, to me. Then who am I? This question is asked. But the actual thing is you have to keep the mind or the attention in that feeling of I, Nan or Unarvu. I am, I exist. That you have to keep them. See, if you don't understand also doesn't matter. You just try this, experiment with this. You will get what it is. If you don't only intellectualize, you will not get it. See, that one thing is intellectualizing it. I don't understand what is I, what the Swami is asking me to do. This is intellectualizing it. You don't intellectualize, you just sit. Whatever you understand or don't understand, you try to keep the mind in that unarvu I am. Something edo solrare Swami, Bhagavan solrare, ab senju paapom summa. You may not get it first, or you may just fail. Doesn't matter. You try this continuously with earnestness. You will stumble upon something. You will get it what it is. Once when you get what I am trying to convey, you will be so happy, and you will be so blissful. And that will take you to the ultimate. That is it. If you say, I don't understand, I don't think you are blocking yourself, saying, I don't understand. How can you say you don't understand your own existence? I am the owner, every illet for them. It is so obvious that we miss it. We all feel I am. That's what I gave an example yesterday. If you are pitch darkness, if somebody asks you, are you there? You say, I don't know. You don't say. You feel I am. That the throbbing that I am, that is the process. That is Atma Vichara. Apart from that, Bhagavan doesn't say any other process. Keeping the mind there is Atma Vichara. And the who am I question is only a aid to bring back the mind. Velila poradhu ahamugapaduthu. Extrovert mind to become introvert. This is an aid. But afterwards, to keep the mind or give the attention continuously on that existence, I am, that is everything. See, when you use language, that is the problem. Then people misunderstand, I am no, it's not the sound of I am. That is why I told you, if it's a Tamilian, then what should be the sound? Nan. It's not a sound. It is the experience or feeling of I exist, I am. There we have to keep them. So you try, you experiment and then tell me. Don't intellectualize and then complain. You try, you experiment with it.
Maybe last question, Sudhaji.
I don't have a question. I wanted to clarify your thing. Alpha, beta, theta, delta. These are the brain activity recorded on EEG, electroencephalogram. So alpha, beta, theta, various frequency, they are of the waking state. And waking state. And then for the dream state, there is a state called REM sleep. So that is dream sleep. And
REM sleep.
REM, you will not remember this. This is like.
Okay, so they are based on the activity of the nerve cells. There are various frequencies which are recorded on EEG. So alpha, beta, theta, these are activities during waking state, various forms. When you are fully awake, when you are a little drowsed, we are agitated. Then during sleep, we go through a state, then goes to another sleep which is called REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. And all the dreaming happens during REM sleep. So REM sleep, there is no connection with alpha, beta, theta. It is called REM sleep. Then after that is over, then you go to non-REM sleep. That time frequency is lower, delta, and that is to the deep sleep state. If you see delta when you are awake, then it means your neurons are gone. So there is no direct correlation to these three, but that is it. So just wanted.
Thank you, Oma. Thank you so
But,
much.
yeah, just
Now tell me from where these ideas can be gathered.
This is
Whatever you explain.
neuroscience.
Oh, neuroscience.
This is neuroscience.
She's a neurologist.
So I'm a neurologist, so
Oh,
that's
thank
what
you
I
so much. See, she has beautifully explained.
Thank you, sir.
See, when you ask the Swami about neuroscience, how can I explain? See, these terminology I'm not familiar. That's what I.
Those are the Greek letters that are arbitrary, so they're different things in
Different sciences.
mathematics,
Maybe.
physics,
Yeah.
in nuclear physics, gamma, something.
Yeah.
Those are arbitrary.
Well, since we're getting so scientific,
Wait, he is trying to ask something. 1 minute.
1 minute.
He's asking something.
Last question of the day. So,
Last question of the day.
Yeah.
You yourself decided.
I said that, but we can go on. It's all up to you.
I don't know whether people are very hungry. I don't know.
No, sir.
We are hungry for knowledge.
But I am hungry now. Anyway, that's fine.
so I have a very simple question. As you explained, life is a game. We have to play it. But since you also explained that this current world or the wake-up world is sort of not real. It's sort of Maya. So therefore, we should not necessarily think about winning and losing, but we should still continue to play the game.
See, when you are playing the game, you play only to win.
And that's what my question was. You were
See,
not
when
suggesting.
you play the game, you really practice hard and you want to win. Nobody wants to play the game to lose. Is that not so? But when you want to desperately win and desperate not to lose, you will always lose.
So you are suggesting that we should always strive for excellence.
See, we have to, that's what, see, we only build pressure on our own minds. I cannot afford to lose, my God, I cannot afford to lose. Why? Sometimes you may lose in spite of your best efforts. At that moment, you should be able to accept it. That is sportsman spirit, na? I have given my best, but still I lost. That's fine. Better luck next time.
So we should not break our
See,
team.
that is the idea even Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is trying to point out. See, Gurudev Swami Shivananda has beautifully explained Karma Yoga. Means Bhagavad Gita, in that Karma Yoga, destined in action is yoga. Gurudev says, destined in action is yoga. Meaning what? Whatever your actions you perform, you have to perform the best of your ability. There is joy in it actually, you know. See, when you do the karma, best of your ability, 100% when you give, there is a joy in it actually. The joy doesn't depend on the outcome. The very act of doing it is joyful. But what you do, you know, what we generally we do, you know, because we are so attached to the results in the sense of outcome, we cannot accept defeat or loss. We want to win. We are putting a lot of pressure on ourselves. Let us say, just an example, you all know cricket results. Let us say Virat Kohli, wonderful batsman, topmost batsman. For some time he was not performing well, let us say. So when he goes into the field saying that, oh my God, I have to perform, if not they will take me out, and what will happen to my this thing, image of, I have to, if you go, you cannot perform. You can't see the ball properly. When the mind is very agitated and confused, how can you see the ball? You will make mistakes. You cannot. You have to, I always used to say, you have to go like a Gale, Chris Gale. Banda vardu pona adida. Avladha. Adina adi. Enna aanum seri adi. Pona poi podu. I cannot explain it in English. That is Chris Gale or Virendra Sheva. Pona adi. Out ana enna ipo. In team எடுத்து தூக்கிட்டு போறாங்க. I am the universal boss. அது arrogance சொல்லலாம், அது என்ன வேணா சொல்லலாம். But what I mean to say, you don't have any pressure. And you have skill, you have experience, everything. You hit, you will succeed. Papa Sachin Tendulkar mari, thonu ronda one, what? Then you lose, you waste all the balls. And you lose, the team loses. Like Sachin Tendulkar, when you come to 90, for him to hit 100, he will waste 100 balls. What is the use of it? You hit, come or go, you hit. That's சரியான attitude. சும்மா பயந்து சாவக்கூடாது. இப்போ என்ன ஆயிடும் டீம் எடுத்து தூக்கிட்டு போறோம். So what? So what? This should be the courage of a real hero.
Technology is going to cricket with the Ramana.
You don't even understand, na? Now you understood better, na?
Yeah. I go to the algebra.
Algebra.
Who am I?
Now neuroscience, no algebra.
If I is x, x is equal to a plus b plus c or 10 plus 6 plus 4 minus 7 and the answer is 9. But how do I, what are the variables for me to come to the answer for x? Pure conscious, perception, intuition, experience. How do I come to round up what is x means? Who am I?
Somebody who knows mathematics can solve this.
I think that algebra courses in the natural.
I don't know. I am not able to sort of conceive your question. Maybe a mathematician can conceive it better and answer your question. I don't know.
I think the answer is who's asking this question.
No, that would be a very disappointing answer, especially.
So in the previous answer you gave, wasn't that essentially the difference between the contrast between the positive ego and the negative? So the
No, I didn't get you.
Well, not the cricket being part of it, but the actions being, to this point is the way you describe it, to a certain point, that's the positive, because ego has a purpose also.
No, positive, what do you want to say?
Positive ego.
Positive ego.
Right, the positive aspect of the ego,
Ah.
let's say, and then it can transform and transcend into the negative, so that's the part that's to be avoided, but there's that positive aspect of the ego. Is that correct, or?
Positive access, you are free in your mind. When you are free in your mind, you can live full life. When you are very cluttered in your mind, you cannot enjoy anything. See, instead of putting it as an ego, I would say a free mind is a healthy mind and can do better. See, we are infinite. We are Purnam. When we are Purnam, we don't need anything. So when you understand that I don't need anything, so you don't hanker or you don't run after anything, then you can live your life fully, beautifully. When you don't feel that you have got everything already, you become a beggar. You go after something. Then you are always into a box, conditioned so much. Then you cannot enjoy anything. See, that is why we have to be free in our minds. That is very important. Whoever you are, whichever field you are, mind should be free. And we should not fear losing. Losing is part of living.
Isn't that desire to achieve still part of the ego? I mean, the ego is what drives
Everything is ego only. Desire to achieve also is ego.
Like an artist.
Fear of losing also is ego.
Right.
Everything is ego. Whatever rises is ego only within. That is ego only. But this is a way to live beautifully according to spiritual insights. You know, mind should be free, and the intellect should be very illumined. There should be a lot of clarity in the head, charity in the heart, and mind should be free.
Not attached to results.
Dhan dhana dhan. You go dhan dhana dhan. Something like that.
But that's the heart.
That is what is Bhagavad Gita is teaching actually. You know, in the Hindus, that is what Bhagavad Gita is teaching. But we don't follow Hinduism or Bhagavad Gita. We follow Bible. But Christians follow Hinduism or Bhagavad Gita. That is the difference, you know. Our Krishna says a dynamic philosophy. Oh my God.
So, I understand you are in a egoless state. Like,
Oh, how do you know?
that's what you are teaching us.
No, I may teach anything.
So what I think to
I have got a lot of ego, don't worry.
to come to America or visit so many places, we have to do so many things, you know, pray to God, efforts, this and that. And in your situation, egoless mind and this, how do you still enjoy the same this thing coming to America and that's.
He explained yesterday about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should wrap up now because it's getting late for Swamiji.
No, not coming to America. America comes in me.
Swamiji,
And then America goes. India comes. India goes.
Yeah.
And then death comes. Death goes.
Okay,
I am the substratum of all experiences. All this only experience.
Okay, I think we've had we can go on, but we will invite him, of course, next year. And please keep all your questions.
Not before that.
No, I know. But thank you so much, Swamiji. And again, for those of you who were not here yesterday, I have envelopes there. And for Guru Dakshina, for Swamiji and his ashram that he is beautifully constructing in Tiruvannamalai, please give donations to in the check you can write Sanatana Dharma Foundation. You can put your own spelling. Sanatana Dharma Foundation, Dallas, and put it in. You can offer it to him and get his blessings, cash or check, or if you don't have anything. He said you could sell it to me, and I said I promise I'll send it all back to Nigeria.
No, that is one thing, and more important thing is, as I told you yesterday, January 28th to March 15th, we are having this Sri Ramana Sampurna Darshan. This complete work of Bhagavan we are going to study. So, if you have time, you can attend all the 45 days or 15 days. In between, we have 3 courses, 15 days course also. You can apply. So, if you want, you can go to our website.
Yeah, I'll give you the
atmavidyamandir.org. atmavidyamandir.org. You will get all the information. And in our YouTube channel, we have got a lot of lectures like this. Also, you can see. And whatever you want, you can ask Amma. She has got all the information. My phone number or email ID and all those stuff. You can keep in touch. If you have doubts, you can ask me. All those stuff.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Amma. Thank you. And it was a wonderful interaction. Om Tat. Om Purnamadha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudhachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Somebody can switch off that. Nityama, can you switch off this live? Live program, can you switch off?